Hey guys, it's Stephen here. How are you all doing today? It's been about 3 or 4 days since my last video because I took a few days off because there was nothing going on really other than just waffling about absolute nonsense, which is definitely something I specialise in, but I couldn't be bothered making videos for the sake of it, so I took a few days off to recuperate. Don't forget though, this channel is sponsored by the wonderful people over at OneFootball this month, so you want to do me a huge favour and do yourself an absolutely huge favour. Go and download the app because it's been keeping me up to date with all the news during the transfer break, during the international break. Transfer break would be nice, wouldn't it? During the international break, it's been keeping me up to date with the news, including what we're going to be talking about today in terms of the return of the injuries and all that kind of stuff. So go and download it in the link in the description below. But today we're going to be talking about the fantastic news about all the returning players. It looks like that quadruple's got a massive boost in the arm there, doesn't it? Because some of these players back in training now, Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, Benjamin Mendy, John Stones, all back in training yesterday, all looking great in the Manchester sunshine yesterday. And that's huge news. Fernandinho in particular, I think it's hard to understate how important that guy is for our team. I think Gundogan's been a really able deputy in that role, but I think there was some signs at times where, especially against Swansea, where he just basically neglected his defensive duties, and he's nowhere near as sharp defensively as some of the players in our team are. Never mind Fernandinho, who is an excellent, absolute warrior of a player, and him being back gives us a massive chance of sweeping up some trophies. Fernandinho, I think it's hard to underestimate how good he is for this team. His positional awareness, his defensive nous, his general kind of like never say die attitude. I will say though, Gundogan has been really good, and I'm definitely happy to see him play some games there just to rest Fernandinho every now and then. I don't want Fernandinho to be ran into the ground now. I suspect he will play at the weekend, probably against Fulham, but I don't want him to play every single game for the sake of playing every single game, because Gundogan in games where we control is more than good enough. One thing about Gundogan recently, his form's been largely pretty excellent, and he's developed this incredible knack of just these little delightful kind of lofted through balls on the top, which have been doing us a huge favour. And it's those kind of performances that help us break down really stubborn teams. And the team is in very good form at the moment. It feels like ages since the last game, doesn't it? But having Fernandinho back would be an absolute huge boost, especially when the games are coming thick and fast. So Saturday we got Fulham, of course. Then we got Cardiff away, which has been rearranged because of the semi-final game. Brighton the weekend after. So we got 3 very important games then. That's quickly followed by the Champions League quarter-final first leg. Then Palace away, and then the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final. So these games are absolutely, they're just relentless at the moment, which is great news to have Kevin De Bruyne back. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? It's been a very tough season for Kevin De Bruyne. Personally, I'm not expecting loads from De Bruyne this season. I think it's one of those ones where we just have to kind of just accept that it's been so stop-start for him that it's hard for him to get fluidity and his form back. I think he's the kind of guy who needs a good long period of games to get there. And even though he's still fantastic, I don't think he's, to me, based off the form he's had when he was back, I don't think he's a guaranteed starter. I would rather have Bernardo in midfield at the moment. Having said that, having someone like Kevin De Bruyne around the squad obviously brings a bunch of qualities that is more or less unrivaled in world football. His delivery when he's right, his ability to see a pass that other people can't see is absolutely fantastic. I'm not expecting him to start and be the very same Kevin De Bruyne that was fantastic last season, but he doesn't have to be. It's just having him there in the squad, knowing what we can bring him on if needs be, or even just to give the likes of Bernardo Silva and David Silva a bit of a rest, because they've been ran into the ground recently, is absolutely huge for the team. It's huge for the squad as well. Having these players back, 4 senior players like this, could be massive, which leads me nicely onto Benjamin Mendy. Oh, he looks like he's proper training, doesn't he? He's been away to Abu Dhabi, I think. It's Abu Dhabi, someone correct me if I'm wrong there. But either way, he's been having some really specialist kind of like warm weather treatment over there to get him back to as close as he can be to full fitness. And now this could be a really kind of pivotal moment for Benjamin Mendy. Now, Benjamin Mendy, I think it's hard to forget how good, it's very easy to forget even how good he is as a footballer. Mendy on fire is a bulldozing freak of a fullback, genuinely so good. And as good as Zinchenko has been, if Mendy gets anywhere near his best, he's the first choice left back there for obvious reasons. And that's not meant to be disrespect at all for Mendy, Zinchenko. Zinchenko has been fantastic, but Mendy is really, really good. I would love Mendy to come back this for the end of this season, give us a massive boost on this running of games, because we're still in obviously 3 more competitions after winning one of them. And Mendy, with his left foot, could provide so much going forward. We're thankfully in a position now where we've got Delph obviously and Zinchenko there, so we're not like rushing to play Mendy. Obviously Laporte has had a couple of good games at left back as well, if needs be. So it's not like a necessity, but he is still the kind of player that I want to see signs of that he's going to be reliable next season. That would be really, really nice, wouldn't it? Because we've got a bit of a dilemma, and I did a left back video the other day. I'll link to it on screen now, so go watch that after this video. Also, go watch my dream transfer signings video as well I did recently. It's really good, I promise you. But anyway, Mendy, I want to see signs that he's actually a potentially reliable option for next season, because he's barely playing football, so you just don't know if he's going to be the same person anymore. Presuming all is well with his knees and he won't get any more injuries, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that kind of stuff. If so, we just won't need to know he's actually at the same level, because he doesn't play football anymore. He just doesn't. It might be that it's hard for him to recuperate to the level he was before all these injuries. It might be that. It might not be. He might be fine and come back and be not changed at all. But to expect there to be no changes is also a little bit naive, I think. Mendy's had a torrid time. But fingers crossed, this could be the end of that time for him now, because he's really popular, and you can't underestimate the importance of having a popular member of the squad. He's obviously had a few raps around the year, and he's deserved it from what I've heard personally. He can be a little bit distracted. I've got a feeling life's become too easy for Benjamin Mendy over the past couple of years in terms of winning Premier Leagues and World Cups. We're doing very little. So where's his motivation? He's probably lost a little bit of focus, but it doesn't mean he hasn't got focus. He's played under Bielsa before, so he's come out of that a better player. There's no reason why he can't come out under Guardiola a better player. Fingers crossed. Mendy, I'm a little bit apprehensive about, but it's good to see he's back there. And also John Stones is back in training. Stones is so important to this team. Obviously, Kompany has been, He's been nervous essentially because he could have gone either way. We've seen Danilo at centre back recently because obviously all the injuries at centre back and suspensions and so on. Having Stones back there, a man who is a future Manchester City captain, in my humble opinion, was absolutely huge for our chances on forefront here at the end of the season. Stones is fantastic, and hopefully we'll see plenty of him alongside Laporte in the running, because those two are our best centre backs, definitely without question. So having those four back is absolutely fantastic. It's also nice to see as well Aguero, Laporte, people like that not being involved over the break and getting a nice, much needed rest. It all kind of points towards, hopefully, a really focused team at the weekend against Fulham, because a few of the players have had a bit of a rest, and some of the people as well coming back from international break will be on a high, none more so than Raheem Sterling. So I'll quickly touch on Sterling. How nice is it to see all the goals and assists he's got for England? It feels like finally public opinion on him is turning. I mean, it was stupid in the first place to be where it was at, but sometimes people are stupid. People have done a lot more stupid things in history than disliking Raheem Sterling throughout the course of the entire human species. So I'm not surprised that they made bad judgments on a footballer there. But Sterling has been absolutely fantastic during the international break. His form for England is epitomised someone at the moment who's on top of his game. He's so confident. I've never seen a more confident Raheem Sterling. He just looks like he believes in himself. He looks like the world believes in him. He looks like he's found his voice as well as an individual. And he's sticking it right back into the media who've hated him and all the fans of other teams that have booed him. And the way he reacted to the Montenegrin fans' abuse as well, absolutely fantastic. And I'm sorry, and I know some people deemed it controversial, but it had to be done. He had to put these chants into the public space, into debate, and I'm so glad he did that and ran to the fans and cupped his ears. Essentially, he made it a talking point, and that's what the best players do. That's what the best people do. They force issues, and Sterling is so tough, and we're so lucky to have him. It's great to see that people now seem to like him. People love him. There seems to be a nice upsurge in positivity towards Sterling. All I say to that is, where were you, a year or two ago? You people, you're fickle, but at least you're in the light at some point, because it's better late than never. And maybe some people were just victims of some of the propaganda of the papers, and people, they don't mean to fall for these things sometimes, but it's nice now the bullshit has been seen past and they're actually more focused and just celebrating the good of Raheem Sterling, because he's a fantastic player, England's best player at the moment. We should be lucky to have him. And also, what I very quickly touch on, Matt Smith, the Wales international midfield. He made his first start for Wales, which is fantastic for the young lad. A fantastically gifted box-to-box player. He's been playing for FC Twente over in the Dutch second division, but he's been an absolute star for them. Easily one of their best players. A really likeable player, and he signed a new 4-year contract with Manchester City Football Club. I think Matt Smith's a bit of a dark horse. I genuinely do. I think he's the kind of player that could surprise a few people, because he's a very good footballer. He's very gifted, as you'd expect from a Manchester City midfield. He can pass the ball 10 yards really nicely, or 70 yards. He can really ping a pass, and he's got an incredible ability to kind of pass between the lines. He's in the same team as like Sancho, Foden and Brahim and all that, but obviously they were much bigger stars than him, so it was hard for him to get the attention. But he's one of those guys who kind of gets underappreciated, because he's basically he can do everything. He can also burst forward, he can score goals, goals, and he scored some wonderful goals in the academy teams, and he scored a nice goal or two for FC20 as well. And now he's playing for Wales, which is fantastic. And now he's got a 4-year contract. I would love for him to go with the first team in pre-season and see what he can do, because I think he's a lot more talented than most people realise, because he doesn't get talked about much. But basically, he's just a very intelligent footballer with an ever-increasing physique and a good understanding of the game and very good tactical awareness. And I think next season he'll go on loan to a bigger club. In fact, I know he will go on loan to a bigger club, and hopefully he'll test himself somewhere. But he's the kind of person, before we know it, could be playing in the Premier League just like that 2-3 years down the line, doing very well, and be just kind of a bit of an underappreciated star out of nowhere. Keep an eye on Matt Smith. He's a very good footballer. Anyway, guys, just a very quick video there talking about the international news. Obviously, we're very close to City being back again. Let me know what you want me to talk about in tomorrow's video, because I will do that. I'll do a video tomorrow. Anyway, I've been Stephen. Thanks as ever to all these people scrolling down the side of the screen. These are my patrons who help support this channel in my quest to hopefully one day be a full-time YouTuber, so I can do live streams, I can do daily videos, all that kind of stuff, and I won't have to go to work and do all the tedious stuff that distracts from making content for you guys. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? You want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Company. If not, just keep watching these videos, subscribe if you're new, drop this video a like, get in the comments below and chat about today's news and all that kind of stuff, and I will see you tomorrow.